overall take on the game?
Yeah, I think we were never quite at the races in terms of giving ourselves a chance to compete. I think obviously Surrey played very well. I think in patches we played well, and we played with some great spirit and some good skill in patches, but that's not going to be enough to win a 4-day game of cricket, unfortunately. And so yeah, I think when we're to concede 490, I think on what was a pretty good wicket, always put us behind, and we needed a real good effort with our in the second innings to get us to make sure that we weren't too far behind the game, and unfortunately, we were, and that put a lot of pressure on us again in that third innings.
You always look for sort of turning points, I suppose, and we've had interviews with a couple of players before during this game about this, but in that first innings, bowled pretty well for day one, kept the lid on it, and then that one over from Dan Lawrence appeared to kind of just shift the balance.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but obviously Dan played very well and put himself in a position where he could attack towards the end, and again did that extremely well and was very effective. I think when they get 490, when we won the toss and we bowled, I wouldn't have expected that, but we knew it was going to be a good wicket. I thought it'd take a lot of hard work and for us to bowl well for long periods of time, and we didn't quite do that as well as we can, and we'll obviously try and make sure that we get better with that. But I think when they got to 490, that was really tough for us, and we didn't quite respond as well as we could to that, and it was going to take a huge effort with the bat to make sure that we got past the follow-on, and by not scoring those runs in the second innings when I thought the wicket was still really very good, put us, like I say, under a lot of pressure.
Jake Libby played really well, a couple of other decent scores, but the middle order not firing is becoming a bit of a problem.
I wouldn't say so much. I think over the last 3 games, which have been spread over a long period of time, we probably haven't done anywhere near as well. First 5 games I thought we were very good, and we got a lot of batting points. We played in partnerships. We took a lot of care and attention, I think, over our wickets, and made sure that we built some really good partnerships where we could hurt teams later on, and we haven't given ourselves a chance to do that, I don't think, in those last 3 games. So that's something that we desperately need to work on going forward. We've got 6 games left, 1 against Durham, and then we have another big break where we can make sure that we give ourselves that best chance going into the last 5. But that's something for us to really make sure that we work on. Those 3 games won't, I say this quite a bit, won't define our season, but we have to make sure that we acknowledge that we're not getting some stuff right, or we're not doing stuff as well as we should. So we have to make sure we get that better.
It's absolutely fair to say those games won't define your season, and it's also fair to step back and just say, sorry, our champions, and it showed.
Yeah, they're a very strong side, but I think for us to make sure that we do the basics well against whatever side we play is really important. If we don't, the better sides will punish us and make sure that they really hammer it home, and that's what Surrey have done today. But we have to make sure that playing against a good side is not an excuse not to get the basics right, so we have to make sure we're right on top of those going forward.
A lot of injuries, captain missing, players in on loan, etc. Difficult period in the T20, followed by this. You've really got to pull together now, haven't you? Yeah,
one of our huge values is that togetherness, which gives us a huge amount of spirit, and we know that that's always going to get tested. Getting injuries throughout the season is not new. It happens every year. We know that it's going to happen, and that we knew that we might have to pull in from some external sources, and we've been very lucky that Ben's come in and Bash, and I think they've fitted in brilliantly well and have added to the group. So that's fantastic, and I think the group itself make it very easy for those players to come in. So we have to make sure that we continue that togetherness. That has to make sure that it gives us the best chance of performing moving forward. We always know that we'll get tested throughout a season. This is one of those periods. We have to make sure that we give ourselves the best chance to keep moving forward.
Thanks for your time.
No problem.
One positive today was the Adam Voges innings remained split into 2, really. Very, very defensive and determined, or whatever you want to call it, to start with, and then really showed what he's capable of.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit dictated by the game. I thought they bowled very well at Adam, and he came in at a tricky period where we'd lost 2 or 3 wickets very quickly, and he soaked up that pressure brilliantly well. I thought he did. He defended very straight, played every ball on its merit, and batted for a long period of time. And then towards the end, obviously the situation of that game changes, and he showed what he can do as well, which I think is great for Adam, that he spent some time at the crease. It's going to be important for him moving forward that he takes that. But I think whichever way he went then, he did it really well. So he built an innings, obviously batted for well over 100 balls. Before then, we're down to 9 down, and then showed what he can do, which we know he can do as a white ball cricketer, and showed the shots and the power that he has.
And again, you saw the qualities of Libby and Roderick.
Yeah, I think throughout, we have to value our partnerships, and I think Libs batted really well in the first innings. Unfortunately, we didn't have, in an ideal world, you have a couple of guys to hang around with him for long periods of time, to build partnerships when we get somewhere close, to make sure that Surrey bat again, which makes the game look completely different. The complexion of the game would be very different. We unfortunately didn't have that, but Libs played really well, I think, first innings. And then second innings, we built a lovely partnership with Gareth and Cash, and unfortunately couldn't continue that with other partnerships as well, and guys trying to bat around them. So there's always some positives to take from it. There's always a lot of learnings to take from every game. It's important that we take those positives and those learnings forward into the next game.